4 or 5 years doing that. Like we would just go out there, and I learned by watching those guys doing it, but I learned by falling, and I don't think I learned how to fall right. I don't think I did.
It's not a natural thing.
No,
right?
I don't think I learned how to fall right, because that was also one of the things that kind of kept me from going further. Like I fell a couple hard times doing stuff, and I just was like, I think I'll stick to the bike.
Yeah, we experienced that, and that's kind of what we try to mitigate, right? Like, is that first what we call whiskey throttle experience.
Whiskey throttle.
So basically, whiskey throttle is where you forget to turn off the gas, which, as funny as it is, it happens way more than you think, right?
I bet.
And it's situational awareness, which I'm sure that you've had to experience a lot of times. And the more I study into people that were in the military or were in really peculiar situations, often it's like, how good can you perform at the things that feel really easy for you when your mind is totally distracted?
Yeah,
and that's
like
really
that.
how
I
good
like
you
that.
are at things typically.
I like that.
You know what I mean? Is because like to go to the range in your case, or to go to the practice track in my case, I can be 10 out of 10, good laps.
Yeah.
Pretty much all the time. But if you put someone my speed breathing down my neck or put someone shooting back at you, you know what? You may not be following the 4 gun safety rules at that. But you know what I'm saying? And so
Good. I like that. That's a good point.
And so what happens with new riders, because it is an overwhelming experience, is that they just forget like the most simple things. Right? The mind locks up.
Yeah.
And
I
it just
can
goes
totally
into
relate
fight
to
or
that.
flight.
Totally relate
And so
to that.
we try to, in our program, mitigate that experience by really taking those first few steps very slow.
Yes.
And it's, we don't have very many of those experiences, which is nice. But if you just to go buy a bike off the showroom floor and put your 6-year-old on it, it's going to happen. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not smart.
Well, I can easily. That's probably why my parents didn't want to have me anywhere near that, because in those early ages, my risk versus reward meter was kind of lopsided. I took a lot of risks when I was younger, and I was very lucky. I healed well. The mistakes that I made were pretty, forgivable in some cases. And I kept kind of pushing until I found things that were kind of like really pushing me outside of my comfort zone. And I'd be like, oh, I need to back off a little bit. I've reached that threshold where now I recognize, oh, that can really be bad. I could really come out of this, in a probably not in a good way.